All right, we're looking at Unit 1, Day 5, solving fraction equations. I know, favorite part, huh? And that is your learning target. So let's make sure that we understand that you can use your scientific calculator and your fraction bars. There's different type of buttons. You can have an A, B/C button. Sometimes a calculator will have a box on top of a fraction and a box below the fraction bar. That is if it's just a regular fraction, or maybe you have to hit shift to get to the other part where it has a mixed number variation, where you just place the numbers in and you scroll using your arrows to put those in there. So we're going to allow you to use your scientific calculators to solve these type of problems if you like. Alright, so let's solve these things. Now, if there wasn't a fraction, I'm just going to pretend there wasn't a fraction at that point. You would just say, oh, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Okay? It's the same idea, but it's just with a fraction. This is just a regular number. It's a fraction number. I get that. But you are going to solve for x by trying to get rid of that minus 3/4. And so the opposite of a minus 3/4 is adding 3/4 to both sides. So a minus 3/4 and a plus 3/4, that does cancel. It gives me 0, giving me an answer of x. And then you have 5/6 plus 3/4. So you're going to put that into your calculator, and you go 5/6, and whether it's the A/B/C button or the fraction button, you're going to learn how to put these into the right spots. So 5/6 in your calculator plus 3/4 in your calculator. When you hit equals, it might give you a fraction of 19/12, or it might be a 1 7/12. And we're going to look at, since it has fractions to start with, we're going to have our answers as fractions. Now, if it gives it as a decimal, there is also buttons on your calculator that might have arrows pointing in different directions. And then it's an F and a D perhaps. Or maybe it's just an F or just a D. What those arrows mean is it will change, the arrow means change to a fraction or change to a decimal. So you have those options as well. So get to know your calculator. Next one here, another fraction. I'm going to add 1/2 because adding 1/2 to a minus 1/2 cancels. Gives me P equals, and again, put that in your calculator, 5/8 in your calculator plus 1/2 in your calculator, and you'll get an answer that is either 9/8 or 1 1/8. And again, since it is in fractions to start with, we're going to have it fractions to end with. Alright, next one here gets a little bit more complicated with the fraction. However, you have a number which is -3 3/8, which is a mixed number, fraction in it, but it's right next to the letter. That means multiply. So in order to get rid of something that is multiplying by the letter, I will divide by that letter. So dividing both sides by -3 3/8. And I'm going to divide this side by -3 3/8. Using your calculator, you're going to find out that dividing the same thing top and bottom does cancel, leaving me just k. And the result here, when I put this into my calculator correctly, you will get -8/15. And again, we're going to leave it as a fraction. If you're not able to use your calculator correctly, you may want to ask someone around you or your teacher. Next problem, just like the previous, you have a mixed number times t, and I will be dividing by -2 3/5 and dividing by -2 3/5 to both sides, and they cancel. So it'll be t will equal -26. That should be easy to put in your calculator, and then divide by, and hopefully it's now becoming a little easier to put -2 3/5 in your calculator, and you get an answer of 10. Nice answer. Alright, now we also have letters on both sides right there, as you can see. Alright, so in doing so, I'm going to have to get the letters to cancel out on one side or the other. And it's just the same idea. It's just a fraction. It's not a big deal, especially if you can use your calculator. So in order to get a minus 1/8 n to cancel on the right side, I have to add 1/8 n to both sides. And it cancels. All right, so that cancels, gives me 0. And over here, that's going to give me 7/8 n. And you still have the plus 16. Again, using your calculator, it's okay. Get to know it. Learn how to do it. Don't fake your way through it. Equals 2. And if you don't know how to, ask someone who does. So subtract 16 to both sides. Same idea. It's further away. Take care of the addition and subtraction inverses first. 7/8 n equals negative 14. And again, that is a times. So if I divide by 7/8 and divide by 7/8, that'll cancel. And n will equal negative 16. Now there is another way of doing it. It's called multiply by the reciprocal. We're going to talk about that later on this year. But you could just multiply by 8/7, which would cancel the 8s and cancel the 7s. But at this point, we're going to be using your calculator. All right, this one here, distribute throughout 1/6. Not easy, I understand. But 1/6 times 1 is 1/6a. And 1/6 times a minus 4, you could use your calculator. That'd be fine. And it would be a minus 4/6, or minus 2/3 probably is what your calculator would say. Distribute the 1/3 throughout, so 1/3 times 2 is going to give me 2/3 a. And 1/3 times 4 will give me a plus 4/3. Now you do have a's on both sides of that equal sign, so you're going to have to choose one side or the other to put it. And I'm going to choose to have it on the right side. So I will subtract 1/6 a to both sides, and they'll cancel, giving me minus 2/3 on this side. And that's 4/6 minus 1/6. Is 3/6, or 1/2 a, plus 4/3. Subtract 4/3 to both sides, cancels. Subtract 4/3 to both sides, and that'll give me a minus 6/3, or simply your calculator will probably just say minus 2, equals 1/2 a. So this one, you can use your calculator, or you could multiply by 2. 2 times 1/2 would cancel 2. But we're just going to stick to the basics right now, and we'll let you use your calculator. So 1/2 divided by 1/2 is 1. Negative 2 divided by 1/2 is a minus 4. All right, there you go.